good morning. Open up your eyes. Hello, good morning. The magic's still inside. Never loved you more than I do now. Living in a sentimental city, right next to an evil town. Hello, good morning. Open up your eyes. Hello, good morning.
Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to continue our playthrough of Middara. We're going to be continuing our main story quest. In the last video, I told you that we were going to do a side quest, but I was going to have William over at Hungry Gamer do our side quest for you. I'm going to put a link to his video right up here. Please go take a look at it so you can see how it all turned out. If you don't want to hit the link, I'll also put it in the description as well. So please not only check out the video, but do check out his channel. It's awesome. He does some great reviews of games and some playthroughs as well. So now that you've watched the video and you're back, you saw how it all transpired. We were able to pass on our side quest, Cave Sickle Extermination, and we did a great job going through that. I'm not going to spoil anything. I really want you to go watch this video. This is the last time I'm going to give you before I am going to spoil it, because we're going to be moving into the rest of our playthrough. So there you go. That was your last chance. In that video, we were able to get 2 experience points and 87 gold. So we did a great job of getting us some gold and experience. We don't have a lot of experience, and well, at least not enough to actually power anybody up. But when we went into that video, I talked to William and we decided to go with our upgrades for our characters. And these are the ones we did. We did Root the Mind for Nightingale. We did Down the Masses for Zeke. We did Chains of Command for Remy. Now this one didn't cost 3, it cost 4, because from what I understand, when you buy another discipline in the same one with the same level, you actually have to equal, or you have to pay a little bit more. You have to pay 1 more for this one because we already have one of this level. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that's right. So this one cost us 4, not 5 like the rest of these. This one cost 5 for our other characters. We all took level 2s. And this one we got for Rook. I got a great comment from the Depressed Eeyore. He did mention that I failed to read this bottom part. Gain barrier instead if you're trying to heal somebody that's at full health. So this is kind of a redundant spell, but I still think it'd be kind of nice to try to do 5 damage. And it does cost a little bit more, but who knows, as we go forward, we can maybe get level 3 Sanctus disciplines now because we have a level 2. Remember, you can only get more powerful disciplines if you have the one previous. So I couldn't go from 1 to 3 even if I had 2 level 1s. You always have to have a level 2. So at least we broke that barrier if we need to. So those are the upgrades for our characters when it comes to our disciplines. In the video, as you notice, there's a lot of cards on this table. William actually used 2 of our throwing knives and also 2 of our vitality juice boxes. So he left us with these. We still have the Magic Balm, a Vitality Juice Box, a Hyper Energy HP Potion, and an MH Fortitude. So we'll be divvying these out to our characters before our playthrough. We do get to go to another shop and train session before we move into this next part of our adventure. So at that point, we now have 97. In the last video, I watched a little bit of our ending, and I docked myself 10 gold. I said that we spent all our money. That's wrong. I actually had 10. So we actually have 97 gold. So at this point, what you see out here is what I'm planning to buy. I wonder what you think about this. I think it's going to be great. We have one more accessory that we can buy for one of our characters. And I'm going to go with the Swashbuckler's Gear. Let's see if I can say it. We're going to give this to Remy. Remy is going to have the Swashbuckler's Gear. It's going to give her the ability to exhaust and counter, and with that one-shot War Axe, that'll be awesome. It does have a passive. It's Conviction Upgrade X, where X is equal to 1 of your equipped combat dice. Right now they're only white, but as she gains better weapons, this will become more powerful. And this will go up by 30 gold as the loot level increases, which is why I wanted to buy this. It was also a great recommendation. I got an accessory for every one of our characters now. Nightingale has the Sentient Bodysuit. Zeke has his quiver. We've given the Ethereum Cotier to Rook, and now we've got our Swashbuckler's Garb on Remy. Next, I wanted to pick up the consumables we kind of lost. So I picked up 2 more Vitality Juice Boxes and 2 more throwing knives. So we were able to buy those to give back to our characters. So we'll have these to divvy out as we go into the playthrough. Next, I decided to spend 30 gold on 2 more relics. You can have a maximum of 3 relics at any time. I was going to give this Fight Drive to, I think we're going to give it to Remy. Remy's going to take the fight drive. We've got an extra fight drive right here that I haven't put on anybody. I think we're going to give this fight drive to, it could be used for either a ranged attack or a melee attack. I'm going to give it to Zeke. Zeke is going to take a fight drive as well. Next, the only one left we have is a fate engine. I decided to pick up another fate engine. Right now, Remy has 2 white dice for a conviction because she has the which one is it? She has the enchanted earrings, which give her a conviction upgrade of white. And she, of course, now has the swashbuckler's garb, which gives her an upgrade of white as well. Since Rook is also going to be close to the battle, I'm going to give him, well, he already has one of these fate engines. I think I'm going to give this to Nightingale. Nightingale is going to go ahead and grab a fight engine. She now has a double upgrade of white. And we still have this sickle shell charm. I could turn this into an upgrade if I wish, but we're going to keep it for now. It has a passive immune to poison, and we're still fighting cave sickles. I'm going to give that to Rook. Rook might be hit, and if he does, he needs to be able to withstand the poison that's going to be passed upon him. And since he only has a conviction upgrade once of white, I'm going to give him that. Of course, Remy and Nightingale both have a double conviction upgrade of white, so they're doing a little bit better. This is our board, but before we get to the actual mission, I want to talk about the spark notes that you're going to be listening to me read, and if you're interested, what story events go on inside this adventure. At the conclusion of our last adventure, we made it all the way to town, but how did we get there? That's a great question. If you're interested in following along with our narrative, I am going to put a list of what to listen to or read in the description below of this video. So check that out. I also will put a timestamp, so if you're not interested in how the story transpires, you can skip that and go straight to the actual playthrough of the next part of this game. So take a look at those in the description and fast forward to the video if you don't want to know what has happened to our characters. This will be the last time, again, I give you a chance to stop the video and check those out. Of course, I've put a link in the description below to Forteller. I've also put a link to, I believe, where you can find all the readings for this on YouTube as well. Now, I'm going to try to put this up on my computer screen so you can see as we read through this, but if it doesn't work too well, I apologize. I normally don't record video of video screens. We'll start this off with getting cocky. The party high-fives over their easy victory before pressing on, confident they'll catch the thief. A strange pedestal. The party follows the trail of the thief deep into the white vaults and through a massive set of double doors that open up into a large platform that stretches across the darkness. The thief pleads with a gigantic, horrific abomination called Hagrafar, master of the vaults. Between the thief and Hografar, there is a pedestal. On its surface, the group sees a small radiant shard of glistening rock. It becomes clear that this glistening shard is of great value to the thief, and his objective is to steal it. The party watches in fear from afar, but their rustling gives away their position. Hografar was under the impression the thief was alone, but after seeing Nightingale and the others, the abomination became enraged. Hografar decimates the thief in horrific fashion, cutting him down and turning his anger on the rest of them. Nightingale instinctively runs over to help the injured man as her friends battle Hografar. The thief warns her to get away from him before going still and succumbing to his wounds. Before Nightingale can react, a mysterious black ooze sprouts from the dead thief's mouth and forces its way into Nightingale's throat. Nightingale blacks out. Rook buys them some time by cleaving into one of Hografar's tendrils. Rook grabs Nightingale's unconscious body, and alongside Remy and Zeke, they all make a break for it. After running around the vaults aimlessly in a panic, they lose Hografar, but also become horribly lost. Nightingale comes to, scared and shaken, but otherwise okay. She asks about the mysterious black ooze that came out of the thief's dead body, but nobody else saw it latch onto her. After regaining their composure, the group panics as the reality of being completely lost sets in. After swearing them to secrecy, Rook calls for his interdimensional friend, Suri, to aid him. He is able to summon her from the realm of Arkala through an enchanted amulet he wears around his neck. Suri's presence on Middara is dangerous, as summoning those from Arcula is banned. If others were to find out, it would put Suri in real danger. After a quick introduction, Suri investigates for a moment before letting them all know that she believes she can help them find a way out of the labyrinthian white vaults. We'll move on to a wrong way out. Suri guides them safely through the white vaults by finding a secret exit that leads the group out into a remote area outside of the grounds of the White Vaults. Zeke leads the group towards his family manor until they finally arrive at the Zhang House, a large white building that Zeke and Nightingale called home. A dark passenger. After arriving to the Zhang House, the group collapses and unwinds. Nightingale is clearly the most beat, and her skin is still pale, but through her determination to convince everyone she's all right, they let leave her be. Suri asks about the Zhang House, commenting about the magical hum about the building. Zeke explains that the royalty used the buildings as the dorms for the children, and that the whole place is covered in magical enchantments that keep them safe from harm. After bidding farewell to Suri, she vanishes, returning to the realm where she came from. The group spends the night in the Zhang House. Nightingale suffers terrible nightmares that night as she constantly sees images of the white shard on the pedestal and the horrific black ooze with 1,000 eyes. As she comes to, images of the thing linger in her vision, standing in her bedroom. Shaken, but still determined not to alarm anyone or to be forced to go to her father, Nightingale shakes it off and heads downstairs for breakfast. While they eat, a loud pounding at the door startles them. On the other side of the front door, they find Khufu on an errand. He explains that the three of them were summoned by King Balthazar himself for a special audience. Worried that their foray into the White Vaults was uncovered and concerned that her father might force her to stay away from Remy, Nightingale brings Remy along to the meeting. If push comes to shove, Nightingale intended to demand an explanation to the royalties, a version to her new friend. Together, the four depart with Khufu towards the Arson Castle, afraid of the disciplinary action that was to come. Arson Castle. Khufu brings them to the king's court inside of the castle. To Nightingale's surprise, the entire Arson family and many Zhangs are present. The two families make up the diarchy of Elenia, and their delicate balance of power keeps the country running smoothly. Nightingale's worries about being caught trespassing into the White Vaults drains away as Balthazar explains the nature of the meeting. Balthazar exclaims that he will be embarking on his annual memorial hunt and will be leaving town. In his absence, Yol Arson will be in charge. Nightingale doesn't get along with her older brother, so the news is a disappointment. The two families argue over politics well beyond Nightingale. They make note of the rising tension between their kingdom of Elenia and the neighboring Brahmanian Empire. Nightingale learns of a diplomatic mission to the nearby country of Faradij, a geographically strategic country nestled between the Brahmanian Empire and Elenia. Nightingale only listens, accepting that her invitation to such an important meeting must be a byproduct of finally graduating and becoming a full citizen of Middara. Nightingale knows that Balthazar's claim of going on an annual memorial hunt is much more than it seems, but even so, Nightingale is happy to be rid of her father's presence in Elenia, proper for at least a little while, as she can now go adventuring whether Balthazar would want her to or not. Unaware of the events that transpired in the White Vaults, Balthazar and Kiza both depart Elenia, and Nightingale's transgressions go unnoticed. The group heads into town, relieved they weren't in trouble after all. With her newfound freedom and citizenship, Nightingale excitedly wonders what the white shard on the pedestal was. Determined by her typical enthusiasm, Nightingale intends to find out what it was, so important that both Hografar and the thief were willing to die for it. Nightingale concocts a plan to again go adventuring into the White Vaults. Rook thinks the idea is bad, but he convinced to tag along only after taking a couple days off first. In the meantime, Nightingale and Zeke decide to share a stipend they were given by their parents upon their graduation. There was a reward. Nightingale and Zeke pulled out a small pouch and began counting how much gold they have to share with everyone. With the money from the parents, the group decides to buy better gear and spend some time in the city before journeying back into the White Vaults. And this money we got as a reward, we talked about that in the last video, and it's part of the stuff we used to buy things at the end there as well, where we got that really super cool bowl for Zeke, the Bearer of Justice. Then we hand off the video to William, who did the cave sickle extermination. While checking out the market, the party walks up to Ormric's pest control. Ormric himself warns of a terrible cave sickle infestation just below the city. Many residents and livestock are being attacked. He needs help planning his bug bomb into the depths of the cave sickle nest, but is too injured to go himself. There'll be a reward, so the party accepts the challenge. Ormric warns the group that he saw a large cave sickle down in the depths. If they kill it, he'll offer extra gold. And for the special part, someone in the party must carry the bug bomb. At this point, William has gone ahead and played the cave sickle extermination. If you're interested in seeing how that all turned out, go check out his video. As for us, we'll be moving back to the vaults. The group backtracks into the White Vaults using the secret entrance that Suri originally led them out of. Rook makes sure to put Nightingale on watch, preventing her from recklessly running ahead or even leading the party. As her appointed knight, Nightingale's safety is directly related to his own now. Once inside and away from prying eyes, Rook summons Suri to help guide them back to the pedestal where the Radiant Shards sat atop. He isn't willing to take any risks, and if Hografar was still lurking about, Rook was going to make sure they didn't run into the abomination. It isn't long before familiar monstrous creatures emerge from the gloom in front of them, blocking their way. That brings us to our next adventure, Retracing Their Steps. We do have a little bit more we are going to read. The vaults are a bit more ruined than they were on your last visit. It looks as if the area collapsed after you left. Pits dot the stone floor, and sections of fallen rock block your path to your destination, making the descent a bit harder than before. Across from you, to the west, you can see the way back down towards the altar room, but it seems that the platform has been completely destroyed. Even stranger is the twitching animate near the exit. The telltale red glow emanates from within the collapsed suit of armor. However, it doesn't look like it's ready for a fight. To the north, cave sickles go about their inscrutable business. Here's our map that we will set up, and we are going to start right down here, and we have to go up and around and over to here. Though I don't know why one option we have, which I'm probably not going to do it, is I don't see why I can't just take Remy over here and then fly her over here. I'm sure there's something that's probably going to pop up if we do, because don't forget there's this here and there's this here. Both of these might become active if we get closer this way. So I think we are going to try to go around just as we're supposed to. Besides, we can get some treasure, and what's wrong with treasure? Treasure, treasure, I love treasure. Our win condition says that an adventurer must end their turn on the blue exit. Hence, I don't know, we could just fly over there. Of course, if all our adventurers are defeated, we have lost. We have the ability to gain an achievement, Death from Above, if an adventurer successfully jumped a dangerous terrain space and then defeated an opponent in the same turn. Read the following hidden text. There's a special encounter rule. It says, I don't trust the armor. While it's on the board, an adventurer may attack or cast spells targeting the blue objective token as if it had 8 defense and 2 purple conviction. If they deal any damage, read the following hidden text. We do have our objective token. It's blue one. It says the blue objective token represents the animate sitting against the cave walls. When an adventurer enters a space adjacent to the token, read the following hidden text. So if we ever did try to fly across, we would have to deal with this. So this is probably a deterrent to do that. I have our board completely set up just like we're supposed to have it. We have finished our narrative, and it is time to take on this wonderful Retracing Their Steps encounter. There's only one thing left we have to do. We do have our exit here. We also have our objective token, and we have our totem. Now, this is going to be like impassable terrain, so we can't see it. We have to actually get up to here or over this way in order to see what this is actually going to do. So it'll be a while till we see it. Then we have to take our 4 random treasure tokens, place them out like this, just kind of give them a little, mix them up here a little bit, and we're going to place them out on the board. Now these are going to be 4 different colors. We don't know which is which, and when we discover the loot, we will check in a book based on the color that is on the other side. So this is a little bit more random than the other encounters that showed us like, oh, there's the red token, there's the green token, and so on. Our characters are ready. Our monsters are laid out. We're going to take our initiative track, give it a good old truffle shuffle here, and see what order we are going to go in. I need to move this guy back a little bit and this guy back a little bit. There we go. We're going to have the first person is going to be Remy. That's awesome. We need Remy to go first. That'll be great. Actually, I'm going to move this like that so we have enough room here. Oh, then our cave sickles are going to go. Nightingale's going to go next, followed by the next cave sickles, Rook, and last is going to be Zeke. I'm going to give each of our characters 3 starting stamina, and if you haven't seen my playthroughs before, whatever number is actually on the stamina token doesn't matter. It's the number of tokens that is actually what's going to matter. So if I have a 3 and 2 3s flipped over here, it doesn't mean she has 7. It means she has 3 stamina. Every token represents 1 stamina point. That way I know what I have out there. So we'll start with Remy. And just to show you where she stands, she still has her one-shot war axe, her defensive core, her BA leather jacket. She has her enchanted piercing, a fight drive. I gave her a vitality juice box and throwing knives, and she also has the swashbuckler's garb. And she has a new ability called Chains of Command. Nope, that's not the new one. Hammer Helm is our new one. So it's a passive. This is one you'd get if you actually play through the mast. You get +1 to your physical damage, and you can exhaust this when using a 2-handed weapon. Equipped, you may then re-roll any dice in your combat dice pool. That's going to be key because she hasn't. I don't think she's hit anything yet since we started playing. Sadly, these cave sickles are kind of tricksy. Every single one of these cave sickles is too far away to be able to move and then attack at it. So I think since they're going to be moving right after us, I'm going to use one of my stamina points to move, but I'm not going to move my full 6 speed. I'm only going to move a few spaces, 1, 2, 3 to here, because what I want them to do is I would like them to have to move up and attack me. That's what I really want them to do. And as long as I'm not within range 4 of any of these cave sickles, they're going to have to come towards me. And that's exactly what's about to happen. Cave Sickles 4 and 6 are going to activate, and that's going to be our blue one and our green one. Let's go ahead and take a look at their card. It does say that they, of course, are going to be immune to poison, and they have that hive mind ability, and there are a ton of them out there. I'm expecting we're going to see this at least once. Is there an opponent adjacent? No, there is not an opponent adjacent. Is there an opponent within range 4? Let's take a look. Remy is right down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there's not a person within 4. There is a person within 4 of this one, but it cannot see through that. So it is not within range 4 and at least be able to hit. So is there an opponent within range 4? No. So it's not going to be able to make that attack. So can it move and attack an opponent within range 4? Move to be up to range 4 from the nearest opponent and then make a range 4 attack. That's going to happen. It's going to move right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it can make the attack. And this one is going to be able to move 1, 2, 3. And actually it's going to back up to right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be up to range 4. So it's going to try to be at range 4, which is going to be terrible because all this hive mind is going to activate. Our hive mind states that the cave sickles combat dice and defense change depending on how many other cave sickles there are within sphere of influence. And there are going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're going to be rolling 2 teal dice and a black die as well. Before this cave sickle attacks, I'm going to exhaust my defense core, which gives me the ability to dodge. So I get to roll 1 black die and hope for a lot of shields. Whoa, we got 4 shields. That's amazing. I'm going to put that right there. They're going to come at me with 2 teal dice and a black die. Let's see how this goes. Oh, I got an 11. That's not going to be enough to hit Remy. Remy's got a defense of 10 plus 4 is 14. Oh, that die saved me so well. That is the first step on our Cave Sickles card. Let's take a look at it. That's it. It's just going to move up to range 4 and from the nearest opponent and then make a ranged attack. So it missed. That's its only attack it has. Now, of course, its partner is going to be doing the same thing. And at this point, I'm going to spend a stamina point to dodge this time. I think we need to do that. We're going to spend a stamina point. Oh, we got a skull. That's not going to help. We're getting nothing. But that's okay. I have my BA leather jacket that has an ability here that I can exhaust when making a dodge. Reroll your dodge roll. So we're going to exhaust this to reroll this dodge roll. Come on, something good. We got the same roll. All right, let's see what happens to poor old Remy here. Remy got hit with a 10 and then a bunch of shields, which is going to be terrible. Remy's defense is 9 plus the 1 here for 10 on her defensive core. So she has a total of 10. So sadly, this cave sickle did hit, but it didn't do anything over. But it does look here, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shields. For each one of those, I'm going to take 1 physical damage, so I'm taking a total of 5 physical damage from this thing. Now this jacket is giving me 1 armor, so that will reduce it down to 4. So Remy has taken 4. We're going to place our token right here to show that she has taken 4 damage, and both of these cards are returned to her board, but they are going to be both exhausted. Nightingale is going to be going next. She's going to use 1 stamina point to move. She can move a total of 6 spaces. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to right here to be able to get these people within sphere of influence so that she can cast some spells. Remy's still pretty sweet. She has her magic staff that she's had before, and she of course still has her defensive core and her BA leather jacket. She gained the Fate engine, and I think she had the enchanted piercing from before, so she has double upgrade of her conviction to white, which is fantastic. I gave her a vitality juice box and a magic balm. She has your gore shot, but now she has that root the mind. She can exhaust this, cast spell 6. Your target is inflicted with paralyze. Paralyze is awesome. Paralyze states, you may not take actions or abilities. Discard at the end of your next turn to gain immunity to paralyze. You can only ever do it once, and that's fantastic. That's usually enough to stop an enemy dead in their tracks before you can hopefully destroy it. Let's see what we can do. I think we're going to start with Gore Shot. Our Gore Shot has a sphere of influence of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, they're so tricksy. I can't even get them. They're all back there. Well, we still have Gore Shot. We're going to hit this guy. I'm allowed to cast spell 6 and deal 2 magic damage. You may deal yourself 2 irreducible damage to deal additional magic damage equal to 2 times your highest level courier discipline. Our highest level discipline is level 2, so 2 times 2 is 4. So this will kill him if I decide to take the 2 irreducible damage, and it's going to be a no-brainer. I probably am. So we'll exhaust Gore Shot and take the shot. I have a casting value of white thanks to my staff. Let's roll it up. I got a 5 plus 6 is 11. That's fantastic. We're then going to go ahead and roll up their conviction. It got an 8, so that's not enough. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Cave Sickle. You're going to take 2 damage, plus then I'm going to take 2 irreducible damage, giving myself the ability to do 4 more irreducible damage to that Cave Sickle. Our green Cave Sickle is dead. That's fantastic. Now, of course, we don't get loot until we take out the entire swarm, but 1 Cave Sickle off the board is fantastic. We'll put our 2 here for our damage that we took from the Gore Shot. We'll replace Gore Shot down here. I still have 2 more stamina points, and I think we're going to play Root the Mind. I'm going to use 1 of my stamina points to cast that at the other Cave Sickle that is next to that other one. And since that barely made any sense, I'm going to target this one right here. That made more sense. So we'll be rolling our white die because we have a casting upgrade of white. And so we got a 7. Oh my gosh, that's going to be amazing. So we've got a 7 plus the 6 from this. We get to 13. Now the magic staff, I have an ability on it that I was doing incorrectly before. The way this thing works is right here, I have a power that says I can spend 1 stamina point, which I'm going to do before the target of your spell makes a conviction check. So since he has not made the conviction check yet, I get to roll a white die. It says deal white magic damage to it. So I'm going to roll this die. We're going to see what we get. We got a 3. That's a sad number, but that's okay. We're going to get a 3 damage from this magic staff. Now that's only if this spell still succeeds. It still has to succeed in order for this to actually work. So we're going to roll its conviction. But before I was doing it wrong, where I was doing the entire damage from my Gore Shot before I would roll the die for the magic staff. You roll the magic staff die of damage before you roll even their conviction. He got a 9. Sorry, man, that's not going to help you. So our magic staff is going to deal 3 damage to this Cave Sickle. It's going to be the blue Cave Sickle. We're going to put our 3 right there, and he's going to become paralyzed. So he's going to take our token that says you may not take actions or use abilities, discard. Now sadly the problem with this is I'm most likely going to destroy him before this actually takes effect. But she is out of stamina points. We used our magic staff, so we're going to have to exhaust it. And that's going to be the end of her turn, but she did a really good job. She got 2 spells off, and she was also able to paralyze something and do 3 damage with that awesome staff. Before we end her turn, I am going to use her Ambitious. So we're going to put our token there and say we've used it. I'm allowed to gain 1 stamina point to all our allies, and Nightingale is going to gain 2 stamina points. The reason I'm doing this, I'm probably going to get attacked by a lot of Cave Sickles, so I can use this to try to dodge. Rook and Zeke are both going to take 1 stamina point. We're going to give 2 stamina points to Nightingale and 1 to Remy. Now it's time for our Cave Sickles to activate. They're going to look for something that is there an opponent within range 4 or basically adjacent? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 squares. So they're going to move up to range 4 and attack. So it's going to move right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and make its first attack. It has the red one. And this red one has 3 other Cave Sickles adjacent, so it'll be rolling a teal and an orange die and have a black die as well to roll. So this is going to probably be pretty bad for Nightingale, which is why I gave her all those stamina points. Now, if we look at this Cave Sickles attack, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. It has range to Nightingale. It is going through a green square, so that means I'm going to gain +1 defense as it shoots through this. They can ignore it on movement, but they don't get to ignore it when it comes to actually making the attack. Before our Cave Sickle attacks, I am going to use my defensive core to try to dodge. We'll roll that up. I got 2 defense. I will take it. Let's roll up what they get now, which is going to be a teal, an orange, and a black die because there's 3 other Cave Sickles within 4 squares, within Sphere of Influence. Let's roll up. Oh my gosh, look at all this. 16. Oh, but it got a skull. That's fantastic. So what this means is it doesn't matter what his roll is. His roll could be 7,332 with 92 books and 83 shields. It doesn't matter. He got a skull, which means the attack automatically failed. Oh, that was fantastic. Now, of course, he does have some buddies that are going to make an attack too. Since the red one has completed its turn, we're going to move to the purple one. The purple one is also going to move up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, needs to go 1 more space. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. It can make its attack from right there. And again, because it is within the sphere of influence of 3 other of these Cave Sickles, it's going to have its Hive Mind activate, giving it a teal, an orange, and also an empowering die. Our Cave Sickle has chosen its target. It builds its combat pool. Nightingale is going to choose to dodge. She is going to spend 1 of her stamina points to go ahead and roll her dodge die. And of course, the Cave Sickle is empowering because it's on his card. We got a total of 4 shields. Oh, that's so good. At this point now, we are going to roll to hit. Let's roll these up and see what happens. We got a 7. That's not even going to be close to enough to hit Nightingale. Too bad for you. Since it didn't hit, if we had any follow-up abilities, those would not activate. There aren't any for this. It's just this bottom one that says move to be up to range 4 from the nearest opponent, then make a ranged attack. It's its only thing it's triggering. That's going to be the end of that Cave Sickle. We've got 1 more Cave Sickle. We're going to move the Cave Sickle, but first we're going to make our attack because we do have, it's going to be doing the same attack. I'm going to spend my last stamina point to dodge. Of course, we're going to build the exact same combat pool we did before because there are still going to be 3 other Cave Sickles in the area. I got 4 shields again. She's doing so good. We're going to roll to see how it hits. It got a 7 again. First off, I didn't need any of the dodges, but that's okay. It was good to have those because otherwise we might have taken massive damage. This 7 is not enough to hit Nightingale. Nightingale did some quick dodge, 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 and so she's not getting hit by any of the Cave Sickle's attacks. We'll move to Rook's turns next. He has 4 stamina points. He's first going to go ahead and play Mage Armor. An ally within Sphere of Influence gains Barrier. Reduce the SP cost of this discipline by 1 if the target is an ally other than yourself. I'm going to cast this on Remy. We're going to exhaust this card. She's going to gain a Barrier token. This will give her +1 armor, and we'll place this down next to her character card. She is now barriered. Next, we'll pay 1 stamina point to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's still not close enough to make an attack, and he has 3 stamina points left. I'm going to spend another stamina point to move an extra 2 spaces, but I am only going to move 1 to get up next to that Cave Sickle, and we're going to make an attack using the last 2 of our stamina points, which is going to be perfect. This Cave Sickle has already taken 3 damage and the paralyzed. We'll see what we can do to him. I do have my Morning Star, which is going to roll a white die, and I have my shield, which is going to be rolling a purple die, but since it's a melee, we are going to upgrade this to a finesse white die. Let's roll both of those dice and see what happens. I have got my combat pool, 2 white dice. There is no dodging for our Cave Sickle. I'm not going to empower, plus I don't have any stamina points to empower, and I have nothing that triggers empower on any of my cards. We're just going to roll our 2 dice, see how it goes. I got a 10. Now this Cave Sickle has an 8 defense, but because of our Hive Mind, I'm going to move a couple of these cards. Hive Mind is going to give it +1 defense because there is still 3 next to it. So it has a total of 9 defense. Our 10 still hits by 1. So we have done 1 damage to this. Then we can go ahead and look at our symbols. I've got 2 shields here on our Morning Star, which will give us another 2 damage, so that's 3, and I've got 1 here. That's 4 damage for our physical damage for this thing. It only has a total of 6 health. I have defeated our other cave sickle. Our blue cave sickle, I'm sorry, is now destroyed. There's a couple things I forgot before making that attack. This cave sickle, I told you when it attacked, it should have moved. It should have moved up here to be able to hit Remy or Nightingale. 1, 2, 3, 4. It would cross right here, so he would have a straight line from here to here, not going through that red square to be able to hit her. So he should be right here. Rook destroyed that one. It is the last one in the swarm, so I'm going to gain a combatant loot card. He has gained 8 gold. We'll place that with his character, and if we're not able to rest after this, I get to continue keeping that on his card and making this deck a little bit smaller to maybe grab some really cool things out of it. That's the end of Rook's turn. He has no more stamina points left, and I totally forgot to use my brand new spell. I was going to cast a spell, and I totally forgot. That's how he was going to get barrier. Oh, I totally failed, but that's okay. We're going to move into Zeke's turn now. Zeke has 4 stamina points, and his Bearer of Justice has a 6 range on it, plus he has his True Flight arrows, which state down here, when you make an attack, gain +1 to your range. You're limited to having 1 arrow item equipped. And I can exhaust this before you make an attack and the target can't dodge. That's really not going to matter because these dice don't have a dodge ability. I'm going to spend 1 of Zeke's stamina points to go ahead and move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares away from that cave sickle. Totally fine. We're going to see if we can take him out. Maybe I'll try a different approach, because I could get some really cool thing if I could jump this pit and actually attack. But I'm not going to do that. I'm afraid I'd probably fall into the pit, and that'd be the end of him for the entire mission. That'd be terrible. So instead, we're going to spend our 2 stamina points, and we're going to use our Bearer of Justice on this cave sickle right up here. Before we make our attack, I am going to use Down the Masses, make up to 2 range attacks against a different target. I'm going to use my 2 stamina points for that instead of the 2 stamina points for my normal attack. So we're going to Down the Masses on both of these characters. So we'll attack the red one first, then we'll attack the purple one. The purple one is going to get a bonus for going through this hindering terrain. Oh no, I might not be able to even hit the purple one from where I am, meaning I might want to move 1 more space. Let's get our little line of sight trigger thing here and see what we see. Looks like it's going to go straight through. I'm going to say it's going to go through that red thing. So we are going to move up 1 more space. Our line of sight tool now says I am good. So we did have 1 more speed left from where we were, and now I am able to shoot at both of these targets. Now remember, our ability is only going to allow us to target a different person, so I can't target the same person twice. Down the Masses does say right down here, against different targets. So we'll exhaust this and fire first at the red and then the purple. We'll create our combat dice pool of white and orange. Oh, I'm digging this Bearer of Justice, white and orange. That's so good. Now, I do have a stamina point. I could empower this attack, but I'm not going to. We're just going to fire, and I'm going to throw that one out of the dice tray. That was fantastic. And I got, a 5. That's actually the worst I possibly can. Oh, there's a 2 on that one. But there is, I think we might be okay. The 2 is the worst, I think, on that one. I don't know how many times this is activated since I'm the worst roller on the planet. But I am going to use Kill the Messenger. This one does state, if you have a 2-handed ranged weapon equipped, when making an attack, you roll the lowest result on the combat die. You may change a single die to the highest result instead. So we're going to have that happen. Instead of a 2, there isn't a 1 on here, so I'm going to take the 7. That gives us 10, which is going to help us way more than a 2. That was ridiculous. We have a 10, so we did beat him by 8. There are only 2 other cave sickles, so it no longer gets the +1 defense. We did 2 damage, plus if we look here, I get +1 physical damage. That seems to be about it for our attack against this cave sickle. The Bearer of Justice is pretty good, but I need 5 symbols in order to actually do a ton of damage to one of these creatures. This bow does have a lot of other powers, but none of them are activating. It has a passive, if you haven't made a move, I get +1 to my attack. That is not going to happen. And attacks made against an opponent that dealt damage to an ally since the end of your last turn gains +2 physical damage. Again, that's not going to happen because actually Nightingale dodged everything. And I could exhaust this if an opponent within Sphere of Influence has dealt 4 or more damage. to an ally, that opponent is inflicted with wilt. That again is not going to happen. 5 of these shields is tough to get. So sadly, we only did 3 damage to this cave sickle. So we'll put a 3 up here on the red one. Now we're going to fire at the purple one. At this point, I think I am going to use my last stamina point to empower the attack. I'm going to be losing one of my, this is gaining +1 to its defense. I'm losing -1 to my attack because I'm firing through that hindering terrain. Let's see what we get. We got a lot of books. These books aren't going to help at all. I'm going to, that dice barf on that dice. But we did get a 15. Look at this. This is going to be awesome. Sadly, I didn't get the 5 physical damage again. I need the 5 shields. The only way to get the 5 shields is using that die. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think we're ever going to see that. I got 15, though. That's 7 above this. So actually, it's not a 15, it's a 14, which is 6 above this, and I get all this extra 2 damage, so it doesn't matter. The second cave sickle is completely dead. We will remove the purple one from the board. That's going to be the end of our turn. Sadly, I failed to remember we had our quiver. It says down here, exhaust. When you make an attack, reroll any single die except black. I could have rerolled that orange die that we had a 3 on. I totally forgot to do that, but that's okay. We'll still get that guy. It's going to be okay. I'm going to replace our kill the messenger and our down the masses. They are both exhausted. And we're going to take our cards here and shuffle them up. I'm going to put these 2 stamina points right behind Remy to remember that she has those. Shuffle these up, see who goes. Give them a good old truffle shuffle here and throw them out on the board for everybody to see. Here we go. Come on, hopefully we get to go first. I want to take out those last 2 cave sickles before they actually attack. All right, our first person is going to be, cave sickles 1 through 3. That's no good. We have Remy next. That's going to be good. Then we have Rook, followed by Nightingale. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. Now sadly, the funny thing is I should have removed that card. I forgot to remove that because there aren't any out there. And then we have Zeke. So we're going to have to move those cave sickles first. I'm going to replace these 2 stamina points for Remy, and the cave sickles now get to activate right off the bat. Oh, that's terrible. But the good news is they'll probably be targeting Rook, and he's got a lot of defense. But I forgot to put up my barrier. Oh man, rookie mistakes right here off the bat. Hopefully we can improve on those. I hope you enjoyed my rookie mistake joke, since they're going to be attacking Rook. It says, is there an opponent adjacent? No. Is there an opponent within range 4? Then make a range 4 attack, then move to be adjacent to the opponent with the most damage within movement range. Then make an attack, follow up, inflict poison, force 9. Right now, the person with the most damage is Remy, and their speed value is going to be 6. So they could move 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they can't get by Rook. So they are all going to go after Rook because they can't actually make it past to attack Nightingale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, it can't jump the pit to get to Remy. Sorry, Remy either. So we'll start with the red one. He is going to make a ranged attack 4. Then he's going to move to be up. Then he's going to be moved to be adjacent. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to be adjacent to him to attack. We'll actually move him 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, he gets an attack of opportunity. Then we'll see what we do with the yellow one. So there's good news and there's bad news. Good news is there's only 1 cave sickle within the sphere of influence, so its combat dice are going to be an orange and a white. The bad news is that cave sickle potentially could be dead because I should have re-rolled the die, but that's okay. I don't have any way to empower this according to their card here, and I don't have any stamina points to dodge because it hasn't come to Rook's turn yet, so he can't replenish his stamina points. We're going to roll these up and see how we do. They got a total of what? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. What? 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that really what it is? Wow. 8, 9, 11, 12. No, 13. No, that's even more. He got hit for 13. He only has a defense of 10, so he has been hit for 3 over his defense, but that's okay. I do have some defense here. I'm able to use 1, 2, 3 to block all the damage that's over the defense, but he still gets to do +2 from that, and I only have 1 other defense right here. Now, sadly, I should have my barrier up, but I am a failure. We've got a total of 4 armor. I'm going to soak up 4 of the damage. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 over is 3. And then 2 of these. So that's 5. Minus 4 is I am going to take 1 damage to Rook. It should have been 0. But that's okay. We're going to roll now as he moves adjacent to me. He's then going to move adjacent and make another attack. And this is going to have a follow-up too. It's going to have a follow-up, inflict poison, force 9 if it actually hits. Again, there's no empowering or dodging. We're just going to go right into this attack and see how it goes. Oh, it got an 8. It totally missed. And guess what? It's counter time. That's right. We're going to spend our shield here to counter. I can exhaust this to counter, meaning I can use my Morning Star and my shield to attack this Cave Sickle. We're going to grab 2 white dice and see what we can do. I'm looking for some big numbers here, Rook. That's not big at all. That's terrible. And I do have an ability here that states that I can, when you defeat an opponent from, oh no, that's not going to help. Oh, here it is, exhaust. When countering, you can re-roll any of your dice. Well, guess what? I'm going to re-roll them both because they're both terrible. We're going to re-roll both these dice. Oh, they're almost equally terrible. 7. That's not going to help either. This guy can't hit anything. All right, he did an 8. He failed. That Cave Sickle has completed its turn. Since it did not actually hit me, I am not going to be doing the follow-up for the Poison Force 9. Our next Cave Sickle will activate. He's going to take an attack range up to 4, then move adjacent to Rook and try to hit him. Our Cave Sickle will be rolling an orange and white for its combat pool. I don't have any way to dodge, and it has no way to empower. And it got an 11. That's going to be enough to hit me. It hit me by 1. So it's done 1 damage, and it gets 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Now that's going to be absorbed by all of my armor. I've got 4 armor, so the 3 damage is not going to go through. I cannot counter this attack because I only have melee attacks to be able to counter with, and he is going to be using a ranged attack. Now he'll move adjacent to me and attack me again. Let's see how that goes. That's a 13. That could be really bad. He's going to do a total of 3 over plus 3, 4, 5, 6. He's done 6 damage. I can only soak up 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. So I am going to take 2 damage because of this melee attack. Oh, that's going to be sad. Now that means I've taken a total of 3 damage, and I am going to now have to deal with a Force 9 follow-up ability of poison. So we're going to use the conviction that we have. We have a white and a purple conviction. I gain 1 purple conviction from our Fate engine, and then I have a purple for my other one. I don't think there's anything else that's helping me with my conviction. These cards don't help me in that regard. So let's roll it up and see how he does. He got a 3. Oh, that's the worst he could get. So he's going to be poisoned. But the joke's on them. I've got a Sickle Shell Charm on him, which has a passive ability of gains immunity to poison. Lucky for me, I put that on Rook, so he is not poisoned, and he has finished his attack. The Cave Sickles have completed their turn. We'll move into Remy's turn. She's going to gain 3 stamina points, placing them right there on her card. For her first thing she's going to do, she is going to use 1 of the stamina points to move. She's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then she's going to spend another stamina point to move 7 to right here. All the while, she will go ahead and unexhaust her 2 cards, her BA Leather Jacket and her defensive course, so they'll be ready in case something attacks her. At this point, we will then attack this Cave Sickle, but we have to jump this dangerous terrain here. And I bet you're wondering why I'm doing that. That's because there's an achievement. If I can jump this and kill something in the same turn, then I can gain a super cool achievement. So we're going to make a skill check trying to jump this pit right here. If we look at Remy's card, Remy has an agility of 6. So she's going to add 6 to her roll, meaning I need to get a 4 or better because I need a 10 in order, agility 10 check in order to jump this. Now from jumping from right here, I am adjacent to Nightingale, so she's going to be able to help me with her strength. So we're going to check out her strength. Her strength score isn't that great. It's only a 2, but that's okay. 6 plus 2 is 8, meaning I need to roll a 2 or better, and the worst these 2 dice could ever roll is a 2. So I have no problem jumping this pit trap here. Oh, I got a billion, so she's able to jump without any problem. So she's going to jump right over here. Hopefully I roll something like that when I attack. Better jumping. I didn't even need the roll. We're going to go ahead and attack this Cave Sickle from behind. Now I'm not going to get any bonuses. Oh, I might get a bonus. I think I get a flanking bonus because I am attacking from behind when I have another character, or at least, sorry, flanking is when you attack from directly behind or directly in the opposite direction of another character. So I can get a flanking bonus since he's here and I'm here and I'm directly attacking from where I am. I hope that made sense. It probably didn't. To give you a better idea of what's going on, I'm going to try to attempt that again. These two are going to be flanking. The way it works is when two allies are on opposite sides or corners of a target, so long as they are not under the effect that would prevent them from being able to attack, and they're also equipped with melee weapons, they are flanking. So the figure making the attack roll against the target that he's flanking gets +1 to the attack. So Remy will be getting +1 attack against this cave sickle because they are flanking. Okay, that made a little bit more sense. Now to make the attack from where I am, she actually needs to use her chains of command. I will exhaust this when making an attack. This gains reach 2 and a bunch of follow-up abilities. Hopefully they activate, we shall see. I also have my Hammer Helm card available to me that I can use as well when I roll my dice. She will be rolling 2 white dice. We'll see how this goes. I can choose to empower this. I do have some more stamina points. I had to use 2 to make the attack, but I do have 1 more if I wish to empower the die. I'm not going to empower this attack. And this cave sickle does not dodge, so we'll roll these 2 up and see how it goes. We got a total of 10. That is enough because I also get the +1 for 11, meaning this has an 8, and there's only one other cave sickle adjacent, so I'm not gaining any more defense bonuses anymore for these cave sickle. That's awesome. So it has 10. 11 minus 8 is 3. So I've done 3 damage. Hammer Helm alone gives me an extra physical damage. So I'm at 4. Plus now I get to look at my my one-shot war axe, and we see how many this gives us. This is going to give us another 2 damage, so we are at, here we go, math, 1, 2, 3, and then 10, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we did a total of 6 damage. This thing already had 3 damage on it, so it is dead. We were able to complete our achievement. Death from above is the achievement we were able to perform. If an adventurer successfully jumped a dangerous terrain space and then defeated an opponent on the same turn, read the following hidden text. We'll place our red revealer right here. That is really tough to read through, so I, of course, will try to read it the best I can for you. Your mighty blow, coupled with your momentum, sends the creature splattering across the stone floor. Splat, splat. The sheer brutality of the kill sends more gold than normal spilling across the ground. Draw an additional combat loot card. In addition, your brave stunt inspires your allies, and they all gain 2 stamina. There's an interesting thing at work here. I have destroyed this cave sickle. Sadly, I'm not able to draw a loot card yet because that is still part of the swarm. So what we're going to do, I'm not exactly sure how to do this, so we're going to actually just draw 2 loot cards when we actually are able to take out that swarm. Now we do have to give 2 stamina points to every member of our team other than Remy. Remy's the one that splattered it across the floor. That was pretty awesome. Remy is also completed her turn. We have taken her 2 cards back and exhausted them, and she's going to let Rook go ahead and take this on. Now remember, I still have some awesome cool things I could do. I do have this, which allows me to make an additional attack if I wanted to by using it once per encounter, and I have some throwing knives as well. And I also keep forgetting about this thing too, which says I'm able to counter, and so I have to remember that I can counter with this if it ever comes up. There's a lot of little things that work here, and I have to try to remember them all. Now, I don't think she's ever had a chance to counter yet, so we're okay. I haven't screwed that up yet, but we're going to see what Rook can do, and this time I'm not going to make the mistakes. Rook is first going to unexhaust his magic armor and then recast the magic armor to put a barrier on top of Nightingale. Nightingale is within sphere of influence. He's going to cast barrier on Nightingale. Nightingale now has a barrier. She has +1 armor, which is awesome. So these two have +1 armor. He is now going to take a swing at this cave sickle, but not in the way I did last time. I'm going to do it the right way this time. We're going to give him 3 stamina points. He didn't have to spend any when he casted his magic armor, because right down here, reduce the stamina point cost of this discipline by 1 if the target is an ally other than yourself. We're going to use this time. At this point, I can cast Spell 6, deal magic damage equal to my total armor value. Then heal an ally within sphere of influence equal to half the amount of damage this spell dealt. If the target of the heal is already at full HP, they gain barrier instead. Now, I know it was mentioned before, and I'm giving a lot of barrier to people that don't actually need barrier. And actually, now that I think about it, I think I'm going to cast barrier on myself. I think that's going to be the better plan. So I am going to spend the 1 stamina point to cast barrier on myself, not on Nightingale. Nightingale is not going to gain barrier yet. I am going to give it to Rook because Rook can do extra damage with the more armor he has. Let's go cast a spell on our cave sickle. I'm kind of seeing the errors of my way with this. I should have probably, this might not be the best plan for him. But we're going to use our 2 stamina points, and I'm going to use 1 to empower it because I totally failed to realize his casting die is a purple die. I don't have any way of upgrading that. So we have to find a way to upgrade that. So I am going to empower this roll and see how it goes. We got 4 books. Now the way spells work in this instant is I'm going to gain that 7. So we're at a 13. And I'm going to gain the 4 books on here to make the spell even better to cast. I'm going to get a better number here. So I got 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So the force of your spell is always whatever your casting die is, plus anything you get on your empowering die. You don't get the books found on this die when it comes to the force of your spell, unless there's a rule or an ability that's allowing you to do that. So again, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This poor cave sickle gets to roll a white and purple conviction die. Let's see how he does. He got absolutely nothing. So he's going to get absolutely blasted. I have a total of 5 armor. I have 2, 3 from my cuirass and my upgrade there on it. I also have 1 more from my shield, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and my berry gives me 5. So we are going to deal this cave sickle 5 damage, which means it's only 1 away from death. I should have just blown on it and it would have fallen over dead. But sadly, that's not how it goes. So I did the 5 damage with my spell, which means I can heal 3 damage off of somebody within sphere of influence. Let's check it out. Remy is within a sphere of influence, so she's going to heal 1, 2, 3. We did 5 damage. Divided by 2 is 3.5 or 2.5, and it rounds up to 3. So she has only taken 1 damage now. Oh, that's a great spell. At this point, I'm going to be a little tricksy myself. If I had left myself with 1 more stamina point, I could have casted this again. This is not an exhaust spell. I could cast this as many times as I have stamina points for it. But what I am going to do is I have 1 more stamina point. We're going to move. I'm going to move 1. And when I do it, move at this point 1 space away, he is going to make a break attack against me, meaning he's going to make an attack against Rook because I am taking a step while being adjacent to an enemy. So let's go ahead and make that attack with the cave sickle. Some of you are wondering why I am being so tricksy like this. Why do I want this guy to attack me? Because he's only going to attack with 2 white dice. Let's roll this up. He needs to get a 9? He needs a 10 in order to hit me. And he got an 8, so he has failed to hit me. Well, guess what? I have all of my abilities to counter already active and ready to go. So we are going to exhaust this core to be able to do a counter attack against his break attack. What a great maneuver, huh? All right, we're going to take our 2 white dice and hit him and hopefully do well. Let's see how we do. We got an 11. That's perfect. That's exactly way more than enough. It only has an 8, 9, 10, 11. That's going to do 3. Plus we get another 2 here. 3, 4, 5. That's enough. He only had 1 health left. We were able to kill him by running right by him and counterattacking his break attack against us. Oh, what a great move. So as Rook goes running by, he deflects the blow from the cave sickle and crushes him with his Morning Star. This cave sickle is defeated. I still have 5 more movement. Let's go ahead and take care of that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I cannot see any other tokens over here, and I will show you that part of the board momentarily, but we did kill the last member of this swarm, meaning I'm able to draw a combatant loot card, and because we were able to do that jump the pit and attack something, I am going to gain an extra loot card. That's how I'm going to play it. If it's wrong, please let me know in the comments below, but I think we're going to do it this way. I was able to gain 5 gold. We'll give that to Rook. Rook is Captain Moneybags right now. He's going to get another one. He got 6 gold. So we didn't find any cool things yet, but money is money, and I'll take it. We can buy some neat stuff. We will now remove that cave sickle card. Rook has completed his turn. We'll move to Nightingale. Nightingale is going to gain 3 stamina points, place them right on her card. And at the beginning of her turn, she's going to be able to heal 1 during the status phase, which is right before she gains all the stamina points. So she's down to 1 damage. Oh, I love that bodysuit. It's so good. She's going to spend a lot of movement to go ahead and move, or a lot of stamina. She's going to spend 1 to move 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want to pick up this token. I think we're going to do that. We're going to stop right there and pick up this token. That means next turn I'm going to be gaining an extra stamina point that I'm not going to be able to do anything with because the max you can have is ever 5. Or I shouldn't say that. The max you can ever have is what is on your character card. So her character card does show 5, so that's how many you can have. There might be other people in this adventure or in the game that you're able to gain that have more, but I haven't seen anything like that because all I know are these 4 characters. We are going to take our loot and figure out what we get. We have found a blue loot token. Let's see what she has found. You find a pile of treasure. We gain 10 gold and 1 random consumable. Now remember, our loot level is mundane, so we'll be grabbing a mundane consumable. We're going to give our mundane consumable deck a good old little truffle shuffle here, and we're going to draw the card that is on the bottom of this deck. So let's see what our wonderful adventurers are going to be able to get. They got a plank. What is this? an ambiguous plank. Discard. You may do one of the following. Deal purple physical damage to an adjacent opponent, or place a plank token on an adjacent space. Reduce physical damage dealt to you by 2. So I can do any of those 3 things with this plank. That's pretty cool. All right, Nightingale's got a plank. That's fantastic. It is now going to be Zeke's turn, but I do want to show you, here is the plank token that goes along with that card. So if we ever want to use it, we could just put it down. Now at this point, if we decide to put the plank here, because Nightingale of course has the plank, she has to be adjacent to where she's going to use it, but if she goes ahead and puts it down, look, we could walk across this now, which is fantastic. We could walk across right here, because if you've noticed, there is no space over here I can get to without jumping. I either have to jump here, here, or here to get over to this board, which is absolutely bonkers. So we're going to get Zeke going here. He's going to gain his 3 stamina points. He's going to use one of them to move. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right there, I think, is where he's going to stop. And then that's going to be the end of his turn. He's got a ton of stamina left over, but I can't get across this without jumping. And I think what I'm going to do is have each one of these people jump across and hopefully not gain any tokens because I'm wasting too much time. With our turns complete, we're going to pile up all our staminas next to the people that they belong to, and we're going to give our cards a truffle shuffle. I don't want to get any urgency tokens, so we have to get moving and hopefully be able to check out what that is before, well, hopefully it's an enemy, because then hopefully it is able to attack us or something, or I'm going to start gaining urgency tokens, and that's going to be bad. We're going to give these a truffle shuffle. We're going to put them down, and we're going to hopefully see Rook go first, or we have a big problem. Uh-oh, Zeke is first. Zeke might have to jump on his own. We have, Remy's next. That's terrible. Then we have, Rook is third, and then Nightingale. Oh, no, this is bad news. All right, it still might be okay. We're going to put Remy here. We're going to put Zeke's up here. He has a ton of the stamina points, and then we have 3 for Nightingale. Rook is going to, or first Zeke is going to gain 1 stamina point, because the most he can have is 5. He's going to spend some stamina to move. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To right there. He's going to jump this pit right here, needing a 10. Zeke's agility is only 4, but her strength is 4. Remy's actually pretty strong. Well, she is carrying around that one-shot war axe, which looks pretty big. I mean, look at this thing. I know I couldn't carry that. So she's going to be able to add 4 strength because she's adjacent to him making this jump. So that puts him at an 8, meaning he has to roll his 2 dice, and he needs to get a 2 or better. I don't think he's going to fail. No, he doesn't. So he has made it to there. Now, the question is, do I want to spend more stamina points to keep him moving? He's only used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. I think we're going to use another 2, 7, 8, and then we're going to use 1 more to go 9, 10, and I think that's going to be able to get me to see this token right here. Yes, it is. We're going to have a clean shot at it, because if we look at our magic little tool here, it's going to pass right along that edge there. It's going to clip it. You have 1, 2 on this side, 1, 2 on that side. We're going to check out what this is. Hopefully it's a monster, and hopefully it's something he can take down with his bow. It states, a hooded figure emerges from the shadows. Spawn an animate on the unoccupied normal terrain space on the west side of tile UM42. Then pounding steps alert you to an Earth Loa charging from the darkness. Oh no. If you choose to brace for the attack, read A. If you attempt to roll out of the way, read B. We're totally going to roll out of the way. He doesn't have any armor or anything to try to hold back an attack. All right, let's go ahead and see what happens. Let's read B. Of course, we're also going to be putting that animate on the board after we finish this. As the huge creature barrels in your direction, you attempt to jump out of the way. At the last moment, make an Agility 12 check. If you have an ability with dodge, you may use it to pass the test automatically. If you pass, the creature tumbles past you as you roll out of the way. Spawn an Earth Loa on any unoccupied space adjacent to your figure. In the space, if the space is dangerous terrain, it tumbles off the edge and is defeated. Oh, that's awesome. Then continue your turn as normal. So great news! I do have an ability on my occult t-shirt where I can dodge, and if you successfully dodge the attack counter, I don't have anything to counter, he is going to fall right into a pit. We're going to spawn our Earth Loa, and I get to place him in an adjacent space next to me. Yep, you guessed it, right there into this terrain, and he is going to go off the board. Oh, and he is going to die. The reason I was able to use my shirt, like, these are also abilities, but basically an ability is anything on an item, discipline, or adventure, combatant, or token that a figure may do. Many cards will have one or more abilities printed on them, and abilities can be used when their conditions are met. So I'm able to use that as a dodge. So like it said, if I had an ability that could dodge, I successfully dodged. And then I'm able to spawn him in any adjacent space next to my figure. I'm choosing one of those. He's going down. And because he's dead, I get a combatant loot card. Let's see what we get. We found 7 gold. Zeke's starting to get some money now. And I can continue my turn now if I wish to, but I have to spawn that animate first. So our animate is going to be placed on the board. He will spawn on the west side of this tile on an unoccupied space. Well, there is only one because this is an occupied space. Oh, I guess it's not really occupied. It's just a token. But we're going to put him right there. Zeke can continue. He's got 2 stamina left. I could choose to attack this animate if I wish to, or I can get out of there. Let's quick take a look at his card. We've seen this giant mess of metal before, but let's take a look real quick at what he could possibly do to us. First off, he's going to heal. Is there an opponent adjacent to him? He's going to make an attack and then move up to 2 spaces farther away from the target. So that's one possibility. We could make him do that. Make a normal attack against us. Is there an opponent within sphere of influence? He's going to cast spell 6, then make a range attack, then move toward the nearest opponent and make an attack against the opponent with the most damage. Okay, in darkness, he's going to do a lot of stuff. We don't want to be in this sphere of influence. That's usually his best maneuver he has. Or he has, can it move and attack an opponent within range 4? It'll move up to range 4 from the nearest opponent, then make a range 4 attack. That's, I think, the one we want to have go off. I think instead of actually making the attack, we're going to continue our movement. We'll remove this. We don't need this anymore. We know what that did. It spawned him and had an Earthlow run into a pit. I've got 2 more stamina points. I could move 1, 2 back here and then save this one to dodge. That's what we're going to do. All of this was done during movement. I moved all the way through here, jumped up here, triggered this thing to spawn our animate, and then I'm going to continue moving. I haven't actually stopped moving yet. With Zeke's turn completed, we'll add our animate to the track. We're going to move these down. It always goes right after the person that spawned it, unless there's something that says otherwise. Now we know our animate is going to move up and attack an opponent within range 4. So he's going to move here and attack Zeke at this point. Our animate has a few things going for it. The only one that's really going to matter right now is Chains of Perdition. The first time each turn the animate hits with an attack, follow up, make another attack with the same range and damage type against the same target. So he's going to do that. Hopefully he doesn't hit. He is rolling an orange and teal die. He does not empower because down here it says heavy cleave the first time each turn the animate makes an attack against an adjacent opponent, it will empower. So this isn't an adjacent attack, so he's not going to empower. I am going to spend my last stamina point to dodge. We'll roll up our dodge and see how we do. We got 2 books. Hopefully that will be enough for him. Let's see how this goes. He got a 9. I have a total of 9, 10 defense, plus, of course, I have my extra 2 up here, so it's a total of 12. He did not hit me. That's the end of the animate's turn because he does not get to make his follow-up because he did not hit. Zeke has completed his turn. It is going to go into Remy's. Remy's going to grab 3 stamina points, and that's it. She's going to stop and stay right there. I have a plan. I need to get Rook across this, and Rook is the one I'm the most worried about. Rook is going to gain 3 stamina points. Rook then is going to use one of his stamina points to move. He's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to right here. But he has to make an agility 10 check to jump this pit. Well, we know Rook is a huge giant dude, and huge giant dudes aren't very agile. He's only got a 1. So we're going to try to jump this pit. You may have seen how that worked for Will in his playthrough. We're going to jump from right here. I get to add Remy's 4 strengths. That's a total of 5. I need a 5 or better on 2 purple dice in order for him to make it over that pit. And he got a 5. We got a 5 or better already. He got 2 5s. Yeah, way to jump that pit. He's now going to go over here and maybe he's going to attack him. Oh, I think we're going to cast our spell. The first spell we're going to cast is Mage Armor. I'm going to exhaust this to give a barrier token to our friend Zeke. Zeke is going to gain one of these barrier tokens. He's going to need it. Then I have 2 stamina points left, so we're going to cast our Fever again and hopefully see if we can do some magic damage to this animate because he's got a lot of armor. My casting die is only a purple. Let's see how it goes. I got a 6. That's 12. That's not too bad. Now his conviction dice, though, are teal and an orange. So maybe this isn't the best. But of course, with 3 armor, it's still also hard to get through that, too. Let's see how this goes. He got an 8, 9, 10, 11. That's not enough. He needed a 12. So 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, he didn't do it. Oofta. I'm able to do some good damage here. I got a 12 total. So we're able to do 5 damage because that's how much armor I have. And at this point now, I can heal somebody 3 damage. I choose to use Fever on Rook himself. It's an ally within Sphere of Influence, and he, of course, is within the Sphere of Influence of himself, so he's going to gain back 1, 2, 3. He is no longer damaged. Rook has completed his turn. Nightingale is next. She already has 3 stamina points, so she's only going to gain 2, and she's going to use one of them to move. She'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then she'll spend another stamina point to jump the pit. 1, 2 to right here, helping Remy will help her. She has a agility of 5. She has a 4 strength. That's a total of 9. I can't get lower than a 2 on those 2 purple dice, so she will jump this pit perfectly. I need a 10 agility in order to do it. At that point, she now has 3 stamina points left. It's time to see what she can do. She'll start by using her Gore Shot. Let's see if she can do some damage to him. It has to be within Sphere of Influence, and you bet that guy's in Sphere of Influence. At this point, I'm going to use my casting die, and I'm going to spend an extra stamina point, bringing her stamina point total down to 2 to go ahead and empower this spell. Let's see how it goes. Oh, look at that. I got a lot of books. But look at this 3. That's absolutely terrible. But that's okay. I have my enchanted piercings. I'm going to use my once per encounter here that says after making a roll, re-roll any of your dice. So we're going to use it on our white casting die and see how it goes. Come on, I need better than a 3. Yeah, that 7 is so much better. Oh, this is going to be so good. All right, so I have gone ahead and made my casting roll. At this point, I will spend my 1 stamina point to use my magic staff. It says here, exhaust or spend 1 stamina point before the target of your spells makes a conviction check. In addition to the effect of the spell, I am going to deal a white combat die worth of damage to him. Let's see how much we do. 4. That's not too bad. So I'll put that right here. Right now we're casting with a 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 against this guy. His conviction is only an orange and a teal. Let's see how it goes. He got a total, oh no, what's this? He got 8 plus 6 is 14. When I get 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, oh, it's so good I empowered that spell. So we're going to be able to do 2 damage from our Gore Shot. And at this point, I can take 2 irreducible damage to go ahead and do an extra 4 damage to him. So we're going to do 6 magic damage. She has a total of 1 damage left on her, but I should have healed her when she started her turn. That was my fault. So she's only had 2 damage right now. Ah, that bodysuit is so good. So we've done 2 plus 4 is another 6 damage. And then we're coming through with this. So it's a total of 10 damage. We've done 15 damage to him. He only has 3 left. Oh, this is so good. 6 plus 4 is 10. That's 15. Oh, absolutely bonkers. That's the end of Nightingale. Well, let's say it's not. She still has some more stamina points if she wants to use them. And this spell is exhausted. I cannot fire it again. And this is exhausted as well. We cannot use that again. But I can use my final stamina point to root the mind. I can't empower this spell, but we'll go ahead and cast it anyway and see how it goes. We got a total of 5 plus 6 is 11. Let's see what his conviction is. It is an 11. He was able to beat my paralyze. Our paralyze does not go off. That's sad. If he gets to go before our characters, we might have to take some damage. Nightingale has concluded her turn. We'll pick up all this stamina, just kind of pile it next to Remy there. She's got so much. We'll take these and give him a good old truffle shuffle. See who goes first. Hopefully that animate doesn't go. I have a feeling if this animate does not go first, he's going to be in a world of hurt because any of our guys could probably take him down. Remy's going to go first, followed by Rook. Then, look at this poor, he's so dead. He's all the way at the bottom. Oh, he's not going to have a chance. Okay, we'll start with Remy. Remy's going to gain all the stamina points back, but she's going to use 2 of them to fly. She's going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, to right here. So she will leave herself with 3 stamina points. Oh, no, she'll leave herself with 2 stamina points. It costs 2 to fly, moving 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another stamina point to move the extra 2 to right here. So now she only has 2 stamina points left, but that's okay. This guy is within 2 spaces, and I can use my reach because I have my chains of command. We're going to exhaust this to go ahead and make my attack against this. Oh, actually, no, I think I got a better plan. We're going to save our 2 stamina points. Check this out. I'm going to use my once per combat or encounter ability. I'm going to make an attack. The attack I'm going to make is going to be using this. It says exhaust. When attacking with a melee weapon, or this attack gains all this stuff, reach 2. I believe you can do that because it just says make an attack. I don't see why not. We'll put our use token on that equipment, or that relic, and we'll go ahead and make our attack with chains of command. We'll be using our one-shot war axe to make our attack, so we have our 2 white dice. I'm not going to empower them. We're just going to roll them up and see how it goes. We got a 4 and a 3. That's how it goes. It's terrible. So I'm able to use reach 2, and I've got some follow-ups on there, but right now I'm not hitting, so that's absolutely terrible. I do have Hammer Helm. Hammer Helm allows me to exhaust this. When making a melee attack, if you have a 2-handed weapon equipped, you may re-roll any dice in your combat pool. Well, guess which dice I'm choosing? You got it, both of them. Those dice are ridiculous. Let's see. Oh, that's so much better. We got a total of 12. Now, he has a 9 defense, so I'm only over by 3. 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm over by 3. Let's see how much more I can do. He has 3 armor. He's going to soak that right up. So the only way I'm getting damage is by anything when it comes to symbols. So I'm getting 1, 2, 3, 4 symbols right there. Plus I get +1 because of Hammer Helm. So that's 5. And I can exhaust this to gain the books as well as physical damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 7 damage to him above the extra that I did that got soaked up by the armor. So 7 more on top of this guy. He is crushed. I have beaten this metal monstrosity into the ground, and I'm going to gain a combatant loot card. We will remove this animate from the board, gain a combatant loot card, and we have gotten 4 gold. Remy is going to hold on to that. And now she has the stamina points because I used that ability or from the relic instead of actually using my stamina points to attack. I'm going to use it to look at this treasure. I'm going to take this treasure. Let's see what we found. We found a green treasure. Let's see what that has in store for us. The green one, which you probably can't read, says you find a pile of treasure. Gain 1 random relic. Oh, that'll be good. There are only 3 mundane cores left. We'll just give them a little truffle shuffle here. Whichever one's on the bottom is the one. You know what? I'm just going to do this. I'm going to roll some dice. We'll see how this goes. Whichever one gets the highest is the one we get. That's a 1, not getting that, so it's going to be one of these wands of mad missiles here. That means that Remy is going to grab this wand of missiles. What does this do? It says per combo spellcraft, per encounter. 1, choosing the targets of a spell, increase your sphere of influence by +2. So I can give this to Nightingale if we ever get a chance to. That'd be really good. Or I could use this as a weapon. I could use this as a weapon as well. Combo wand. Exhaust when choosing a target of a spell, increase. Okay, it's the same thing, but it's used as a weapon. So I believe this was in the relic pile. If I'm not allowed to get this as a relic, please let me know, and I'll make sure just to gain this, because this is the only relic we don't have is another set of True Flight arrows. So I'm going to put this in with Remy. Remy gets that for now because she's the one that picked it up. We'll place these back in our pool of loot cards. That's the end of Remy's turn. It's going to go into Rook's turn. Rook is going to gain 3 stamina points. And I'm kind of a little worried here. I don't know if he can make that jump. But I don't know what that does either. So I think we're going to take all 3 stamina points, and he's just going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's see. 1, 2, 3. No, he needs to get just out of the way. He's going to go right over here, and he's just going to use the 1 stamina point. I think that's about it. Nightingale's going to go next. She's going to gain 3 stamina points, and she's going to move. And she has to move all the way around these people because I'm not jumping any pits because I'm terrible. We're going to use all 3 stamina points to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I believe is her total movement. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Zeke is also going to gain 3 stamina points. He is also going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's going to stop right there. That is the end of our turn. And of course, our animate is dead. Now, I may be doing this wrong, but please let me know in the comments below if I do. But I believe we are going to gain an urgency token because our animate never actually activated during this set of activations. So we'll take one of our urgency tokens and place it right there. Now, if we ever gain 4 urgency tokens, our adventure ends at that point. When I activated Nightingale, Nightingale should have healed because of her sentient bodysuit, so she is only having 1 damage at this point. We're going to put our stamina points onto our characters. We're going to shuffle up our cards here and move into the next turn. Let's see what happens to our characters. I really want Remy to go first so she can just fly. That's what I really need her to do. All right, we've got Rook who's going to stand there. Oh, good, we got Remy next. Then we got Zeke and Nightingale. Remy still has her barrier. She has all her abilities ready to go. She has some throwing knives and everything, so if this is really bad, I think we'll be able to take it out. She does get to keep her 1 stamina point, and she's going to gain 3 more, so she has a total of 4. We're going to spend 2 to fly. She'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I'm going to use my other 2 to go 7, 8, 9, 10 to right here. And let's see what this thing is. The reason I did stop is because the blue object represents an animate sitting against the cave walls. When an adventurer enters a space adjacent to this token, read the following hidden text. I probably should have read it actually when I was moving past that pit, but that's okay. Let's see what this says here. It does say, the pile of armor begins to shift when you get close. You tense, thinking that it will attack. Instead, it goes still and continues to rest. Discard this blue objective token. Are you kidding me? I thought it was going to be a big giant animate. With that knowledge, things are going to change a little bit here. I don't have to worry about this board anymore. We are going to gain another urgency token because I'm actually not going to use anybody else because there's nobody else to really use. We'll gain 1 more urgency token. Nightingale will have a chance to go. So her sentient bodysuit will heal her back to max. We'll go to Remy's turn eventually once I shuffle these all up and put them back out. It doesn't matter the order because Remy will at some point be able to move. She'll move right on the exit, and that will conclude this adventure. For successfully completing this adventure, we are going to be able to gain 1 XP and we'll move to an alternate path. Having completed the adventure, we were able to get another achievement, Death from Above. I have a total of 17 gold. I got 10 from that 1 treasure hoard, and I believe we had 7 left over after buying stuff from the town. And there you have it. We have completed another adventure in the world of Middara. We have finished retracing their steps. We'll be moving into an alternate path in the next video. An alternate path does not have any story that goes along with it. We'll be moving right into the actual combat inside the encounter. I'm super excited to do that. We were able to get through this one. We did a really good job. I was kind of worried of those cave sickles right away, but we made quick work of them and continued forward. Of course, the MVP of the entire mission was that Earthloa. He went running right past Zeke and fell in a pit. That was awesome. So I'm super excited how some of this goes. I also was really excited that this didn't actually turn into anything. I thought this was going to be some giant evil menace of some kind, but it really turned out to be nothing. So we'll continue on in the next video. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when the next encounter comes out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. Again, I am not sure if this is allowed to be taken as mundane relic. I'm beginning to think more and more that it is not, because it also, on top of it being both a weapon and a relic, it is 18 gold, which I notice a lot of one-handed weapons are about 18 gold of some kind or something like that. For example, I have Rook's shield here at 18. So if that's the case, I'll just be giving this set of True Flight arrows to Remy because honestly, I think we've bought all the rest of the relics that we possibly could even have. Thank you again for watching, and if you're excited to see what happens to our brave adventures in the world of Middara, then I need you to meet me at the table.